Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. This one is about this little guy, Momiji. As I said in my recap, he is the main reason why I was gone for 6 months. So in that time, I learned a lot about puppy care, about being a new dog mom, and I wanted to share all those tips and tricks and what I learned with you all. So Momo right here is actually my first pet. I did have a guinea pig named Chancho, but my dad was allergic, so I only had him for a couple months and we had to give him back. And I think we had a dog named Queenie when I was like 1, but I don't remember that. So Momo is my first pet, especially my first pet with just me taking care of him. I wanted to get a puppy because I wanted him to grow up with me as I grow up. At the time I was 26, and I know people who have like 3 kids at 26, so I'm like, I could probably take care of a dog. That was my idea going into it. I did do some research, but it did not prepare me for everything. So I'm gonna get into the 6 things I didn't know came along with having a puppy, or the 6 things that I learned about with having Momiji, and that is what this video is about. Okay, number 1. So I didn't realize that puppies' teeth fall out just like children. When you think about it, I guess it makes sense that they would do the same thing we do, but I was shook. I did not know that. And it was creepy because one thing with Momiji, he loves to eat anything. So half of my existence with him is like, Momo, what is in your mouth? And then I'm like, ugh, you know? So he would be like just licking a lot on his like snout, and I'm like, what's wrong? And that would be his little wiggly tooth. Then like days later, I'll just hear him chomping on something and it doesn't sound right. I'm like, what is that? He'll just and spit out teeth. At first I was like freaked out and I was like, oh my god, your food's too hard, it's like making your teeth fall out. But then I asked my friends who have dogs and they're like, yeah, that is what puppies do. So I didn't know that, and like a creep, I still have some of his teeth because I don't know, isn't that what moms do? I think my mom still has my baby teeth. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but I have them because that's a thing. The second thing is, I didn't realize that puppies are literally like babies. They're not exactly like babies, so all the real moms out there, I feel you, okay? I get it. It's not a real child, but it's pretty darn close. Separation anxiety is a thing. He would scream and holler if I was not in the room with him. I remember the first week I had him, literally like a child, he could not sleep through the night. I would be up in maybe 3-hour intervals, 3 hours of sleep, he would cry. I'd have to take him to the bathroom. I think that's the main thing. They can't hold their pee when they're that small because I got him at 3 months. So he would wake up during the night, have to pee, go back, cry, just want to be held. I literally felt like a mom on maternity leave taking care of a newborn because literally I was not sleeping. Girl, this was a rough time. I'm not even gonna lie. It was rough. And also with crying, just like a baby, he'll cry just because he wants me to hold him. Like sometimes he'll come up to me, like whimper, all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, are you hurt? Or I'll just hold him and then he's fine. Like literally when he's on the floor crying, I'll hold him. He's just chilling. He's like, what are we doing? So that was very interesting to learn that it basically felt like I had a newborn. I barely had any sleep. He was crying all the time. I always had to have him in my arms. It was a lot. And while doing this, I was also crate training, so there was a lot of cries in the crate. Now he's crate trained, but yeah, it was a lot. The third thing I learned about, but I also researched, is that puppies need socialization. Now, I didn't realize how difficult that would be when he is an unvaxxed puppy because you can't really take him to dog parks or like be out in the world yet. So that was a learning curve for me. I had to figure out how can I socialize this puppy, especially because they say like, I don't know, at 3 months or like 3 to 6, that's when they're supposed to be like socializing. So, you know, he's a friendly dog and all that stuff. So I had to get creative of how we could go out and have adventures without him touching the floor or running into dogs because he wasn't vaccinated. So my mom actually gifted me this little puppy pouch carrier, and I literally, it's the cutest thing, but I would just hold him basically like in one of those little baby carriers and just walk with him because they said walks are a good way for puppies to socialize and learn about their surroundings and environment. But since he couldn't actually walk on the floor yet, I just had him in this little puppy pouch. And he was cute. He was so cute and so tiny at that stage. A lot of people thought he was so cute in his little pet carrier. So he did see some dogs, we saw some people, but from a safe distance since he wasn't vaccinated. So that was something interesting and just something really cute from his little puppy stage. The fourth thing I knew about but wasn't actually prepared for was zoomies and how much energy he has. Puppies do sleep a lot, but when they have energy, they have energy, and I was already barely sleeping the first week, and then match that with him just wanting to play 24/7 or just jump around. When he was a puppy, he couldn't jump on the couch yet, but his zoomies, he would just run around my apartment fast. Like, I could not catch him. Now he's bigger and he can jump on stuff. Literally, it's like parkour, him jumping around. I've made several TikToks of him doing it because it's literally so funny. But I was not ready for that because my apartment is tiny. He's a tiny dog, but when he's moving at lightning speed, like chairs are moving, he's bumping into stuff. I'm like, bro, calm down. And I'm sure my neighbors under me are not happy. To be fair, he gets zoomies right before he needs to go to bed, so sometimes I will encourage it and I'll just like run around and chase him, and we're having a fun time, so he'll be ready to sleep. So sorry neighbors if you watch this. I'm sure you don't, but if you do, sorry. That's what you have to do with a puppy. But that was something I was not ready for because his energy was unmatched. Okay, so the fifth thing was the hardest thing for me. I think it's kind of a thing. I know it is postpartum with the baby, but also when you get a puppy, there is kind of not depression, but just like feeling overwhelmed. And this thing, number 5, is what made me the most overwhelmed, is that he was teething and giving me cuts from his bites. When Momo was really tiny, still 3 months, he could not figure out that my fingers were not a part of the toy. We would be throwing the ball around or doing any kind of thing with the toy, and he would try to get the toy, and most times he would, but sometimes that boy would nick my fingers, and like he has some sharp things, and it was like such a sensitive part of my body because you use your hands for everything, and just like washing your hands, soap and hand sanitizer would get into them, and I swear, ugh, it was the worst. I remember there was one point where I was sleep deprived, I was tired, I had like editing projects I needed to do, and my hands were just like covered in band-aids, and I cried. I did. I loved him, but I hated that time. So if you're thinking about getting a puppy, this is where it gets real, and this is where you need to prepare and be mentally ready for it because it was rough. I definitely got all of the teething and chew toys he needed, and we learned drop really fast. Drop the ball, because I was no longer gonna actually like take the ball out of his mouth, because that's how I stupidly got all those nicks and cuts. So we learned drop. Now he drops the ball. I get it. I throw it because the girl had to learn. Don't get too close. Puppy bites hurt. And number 6 is kind of funny. It's not even really one, but I just wasn't prepared for it. But number 6 is people wanting to walk up to you because you have a dog. It's always seen in like movies and stuff how, ooh, a meet cute, you can find your man with a dog, or like people talk to the dog and not the owner. That happens, but like it happens a lot, and not to brag, I think I have a really cute dog, so that's probably why it happens so much for me. But I was not ready. Sometimes in the morning I will just walk him to get his little exercise, get his little pee and poop out, and I'm not ready for the day yet. I just woke up. Literally, you could see me, you could tell that girl is not awake yet, but people would come up to me, want to pet Momo, want to talk to him, or like even dog owners too would be like, oh my god, hey, tell me about your dog, here's all the things about my dog. When I'm in the mood, it's a lot of fun, especially other dog owners, because they give me tips and tricks. I've met so many people who've helped me, especially in the puppy stage, which I appreciate. But when it's like early in the morning and you can see I'm not awake and I look a hot mess, maybe don't talk to me for longer than a minute or 30 seconds. So that is definitely something I have to get used to. I am an extrovert, but I also have an introverted side. I always say I'm half and half, actor and freelance video editor. Editing, I don't talk to people. Acting, I do. So when I'm in my reserved mood, I ain't trying to talk to people, but they don't care when you have a cute dog. So that's something I learned. It's not like as bad as freaking getting bit. So I just thought it was funny because I was not prepared for it. So that was all the things I learned with having my first puppy. I definitely, looking back, I probably should have gotten like an older dog for my first dog experience, since this is like my first time being a pet owner. But now that I went through all of that and we're like chilling now, he's not, you know, staying up or like peeing all the time. He's mellowed out a lot. Now that I've like gotten the groove and I know what I'm doing, I definitely like that I had a puppy because I do get to see him grow up. He was so tiny and now he's bigger, and I can't. I honestly do feel like a dog mom. Oh, bonus fact, I didn't realize how cringy dog mom I would be because I made fun of those people. I made fun of those people and now I am that person. so I get it now. But yeah, that's all the things that I learned and didn't know about going into having a dog, specifically a puppy. Thank you for staying tuned. More videos to come as usual, and I might have some more Momiji videos. He's a cute little dude, so he might make it into some more videos. But as always, I love you guys. Like, share, subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.